There. Okay. All right, call to order the Digital Access Committee on September 13th at 2:30 p.m. So far we have Commissioner Ward and myself here. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? I guess.
Move adoption of the agenda, Mr. Chair.
All right, I'll pass the gavel to Commissioner Ward and I'll second it.
All right.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll give it back to you.
All right. Move approval of the minutes from the August 9th meeting. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
All
For a
right.
second?
I'll pass over to you.
For a second?
Second? Yes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right. Have it back. Yeah.
All right. Motion passes. Second, or the one item we have today that hopefully should be pretty quick, as I think we're moving forward on it, is the data governance item and the data privacy. We have the GNV data policy, and I believe we're in a place, right? Yeah, if you want to come forward, in a place ready to move forward on it. I see some comments from the auditor on as well. Do you want to introduce this or kind of?
Yeah, this is IT Director David Duda. We came forward with a policy. This was after discussion with the police data, and so the policy was really supposed to be encompassing, like, as far as smart city data, whether, like, we wouldn't be.
I don't know if the mic is picking you up. I don't know if you can.
Get
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
All right.
So it might move
Let
up
me get
some. Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it sounds like
There you
Kermit
go,
the Frog.
that's
There you go. Okay. So we did this discussion a long time ago about police data, and then what will happen as far as smart city data. Will we start using smart city data to kind of start track people? And it went in a different direction. So then we created a policy in which we're guaranteeing we're not going to take the smart city data and then give it away and make it used against the citizens of Gainesville, basically neighbors. So that's what it came forward to, and that's the one that we have in front of you. And then we took that policy and we got feedback from GRUIT, and then came back again, and now we went out to the charters and we got another feedback, and that was what was in the memo, and that was from the city auditor. The auditor, Big B, actually has a lot of good points in there, but I think it should be covered under another policy, and we should go forward with this policy since we're moving ahead with a lot of smart city initiatives, and then we can, add to this as we go.
Okay. Is there any discussion from the committee?
I don't have any questions right now, Mr. Chair. No.
Okay. Do you want to move forward with the recommendation to discuss the city commission?
Yeah, I'll move this forward to the full commission.
All right, I'll pass the gavel over to Commissioner Ward.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
We probably should take a public comment.
Oh, yeah. We'll all give it back to you.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to move this forward to the full city commission. Is there any, Ms. Bigby, are you good with what Mr. Duda said? I see your hand raised.
Hi, commissioners. Yes, thank you. And I appreciate the IT groups and Dave Duda's group allowing us to provide some input. And we're fine with parts of that being covered in another policy. I just wanted to mention that we're also looking for coverage of use of surveillance technology outside of law enforcement needs. So we're hoping that will be incorporated in one of these policies, perhaps a separate privacy policy.
And I believe there is a GPD policy on that, if I remember correctly. I don't know.
So we're looking for a policy that covers surveillance technology outside of the use of law enforcement.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, such as tracking of city mobile phones, computers and such. There is a need in some cases, but we also want to make sure we're protecting our residents and our employees from inappropriate tracking. We haven't seen that. It's just the risk that needs to be covered in policy so that people understand expectations for appropriate use.
Yes, and I agree. Trying to stay ahead of this, of constantly moving technology. All right, is there any public comment in chambers on the motion to refer the data privacy policies to the city commission? Mr. Shepherd?
Yes, my name is Donald Shepard, and I'm people's representative, in which to call myself. I'm running for mayor, and also I don't know much about this, so I'd like to hear more about what, other than what she had brought to us, is I'd like to hear from the captain of what he is, how this is helping the police. So I would like to reserve my time till I hear from that.
Well, why don't you finish your
Sure.
comments, and then we'll address kind of the policy.
Sir,
Why don't you finish your comments, and we'll address it after you're done. If you're finished, I can answer your question.
I'd like to see a digital access within camera, within our traffic lights and others, so that we can make it easier for our policemen to do their jobs. This here photo recognition will take and help our officers do their jobs better, and we can have faster arrests done and paperwork done in a more feasible fashion, so that the work of our officers and the police departments have that type freedom to take and keep our people in order. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anybody online to give a comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If any members of the public are listening to the meeting via Zoom, you're welcome to dial *9 or raise your hand if you have a comment to share. There's currently no one waiting.
All right, move back to chambers. Anybody else in chambers like to give comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Mr. Duda, do you just want to briefly just go over what this policy hits on?
Yeah, this is Dave again. This policy is not to restrict police departments from so this data, smart city data is actually designed to take some of the infrastructure things and take data from different sensors and actually feedback and give a quicker response or quicker ways for us to work as a city. And we're just making sure that this data is not going to be used as investigative, because there was concerns from neighbors that stated this. As I said, it's not really intended to be used in that fashion. And we did, as this committee did, we went through all the data sets that the police officers do have. And it was just saying that they do have the tools to do their job, and we want to make sure the neighbors are not being, surveillanced by this data.
And also that the data that we do collect, we try to not have it specific to each person, so that it can't be kind of used against the public as well, so that it's spread out. All right. With that, we will bring it back to the committee for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes 2-0 with Commissioner Ariola absent. Is there any public comment? Sure, Mr. Shepherd. On any items that were not on the agenda today?
That they were not on the
Yeah.
thing. Would this stop me from longer talk time? Because 6 minutes.
You got 3 minutes, sorry.
Okay. Things that I wanted to bring up is our sidewalks that are right here in our area. I have turned over about 14 different sidewalk infrastructures that are within this area that need to be addressed when they're 4 foot from the upper sidewalk to the lower sidewalk, and and there's curbs that you have to butt up against at night when you're going to your residence, or these here curbs are also within our bicycle patrol area, also by our school. I had ask Fred Murray if he wanted to go out and get a list of ones. I have done that. I'm still doing that. I had turned this list into Fred Murray. He said would address it as soon as he has an action time on it. And, let's see, what else? The other thing is I wanted to talk about is what's going on with our city commissioners and mayors. Why is this taking place? Why is they not being treated equal? We're supposed to be all quality commission, and when we read in the paper different, then why is it that we have to be read this in our alligator or our newspaper? Why is this being addressed in that fashion? We need to have a charter that takes and addresses this before it hits a paper. This here is something that is shameful to our city commission, and it has been going on for years. But this is the first time it actually hit the alligator or the paper or the news. I also want to say prayers for the gentleman that died on 39th. And also, we need to address, I wanted to see Fred Murray about the fire assessment fees that renters are putting up, landlords are putting upon renters, and then all of a sudden raising your rent on that. I don't think that should be allowed. And what else? That's about all, sir. That I can think of it in a second.
Thank you very much. I do want to let you know that the fire assessment fee is not changing this year as proposed. Is that correct, I believe? Yeah. So the fire assessment fee is not changing from last year. And just to address a couple of things, on bicycle pedestrian, I'm glad you gave that list to Mr. Murray, and we are in the proposed budget putting $750,000 towards Vision Zero. So to address pedestrian, bicycle, kind of road safety issues to make them safer, that's in the proposed budget. All right, is there anybody online who would like to give public comment?
There's no one waiting at the moment.
All right, is there anybody else in chambers who'd like to give public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Is there any member comment? Seeing none, our next meeting is October 11th. We are adjourned.